Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I would like to talk about the healers in Lost Ark. Healers in air quotes because Lost Ark does not have a per se healer with 8 skills, this heals AoE, that heals single target. But there are two support classes in game, the Bard and the Holy Knight, about which I will want to talk in this video, tell you a little bit about both of them so you can make, you as a healer from other MMORPGs that is interested in Lost Ark, you can make a more educated choice in terms of which one is more up your alley, which one would you like to try out in Lost Ark, if not both. If you want to try Lost Ark before it comes out for us in the West next year, feel free to use my guides in the description below. I have guides on how to try Lost Ark in Korea, Japan, Russia, whatever region you want. It's there in the description. I would also like to say before we start a huge thank you to those of you who are supporting me here on YouTube with the paid membership. I'm very grateful to you guys, and I want to say a huge thank you to you. The Bard and the Holy Knight. First, I would like to talk a little bit about the similarities of these two classes and also the differences in between them. They're both kind of the same in terms of offering offensive boons and defensive boons to the party members and themselves. Now, the differences in between the Bard and the Holy Knight are of course quite many, besides the visual aspect of the class, which is going to be fixed, so we can forget about the gender locking thing. Eventually you are going to be able to play Holy Knight in female and Bard in male, so let's forget about that. The gameplay of the classes is a bit different. Bard feels a little bit more flowy when it is supporting, while Holy Knight, when it uses support skill, feels a little bit more clunky, more heavy, just a little bit slower. So this is a gameplay difference in between them. Also, the biggest difference, and if I would have to draw a line and narrow everything down to one sentence, this would be the sentence. The Bard gives attack speed to the group members, Holy Knight does not. Holy Knight gives a heal and a shield, 2-in-1 skill, that is actually a skill, a regular thing that you drag, you put on your quick bar, and it's a 30-second cooldown with no agility, can be lower with more agility, and it is a treasure of a skill because it is the only skill, regular skill in the game that heals people, and it heals them for a % of their total HP, not a number which can be low. If you have more HP, the more HP you are, the number being lower. No, it's a %. So the more HP the groupies have, the better a Holy Knight basically heals you in that sense. Holy Knight, another difference in between them and these two classes is that Holy Knight is a class that feels a little bit more of a people's class, a class that is more helpful for everyone in that sense, right? Not only for this particular combination of classes, but for any combination of class you have and for any level of experience in game. If you're a skilled player or if you're a novice, it doesn't really matter. A Holy Knight is a great support. Now, a Bard comes in play if your group is a little bit more skilled, or if your group is composed of classes that, let's say, benefit a lot from attack speed, which are the slower classes in that sense. These are the differences in between them. Now let's get into my Bard right here. I'm gonna talk a few minutes about the Bard and its supportive skills, and then we're gonna swap to Holy Knight and I'm gonna talk a few minutes about that one. The Bard, a great support class. When the game first came out, it was the only support class, and also for the first year of the game, the Bard was the most played class, the most popular class in terms of people's choice. It's lovely to play a support in Lost Ark because you're always gonna be needed. No matter if you're a Bard or a Holy Knight, you are always going to have a spot as a support. There is no need to ever do any form of content without a support, because nobody is gonna say, clap clap, you've done it without a support, you're so good. This thing does not happen in Lost Ark. It's not like other MMOs where, look, I did it without a healer, wow, so nice, we're so good, right? No, not here. Anyway, my Bard, let's go through the skills. I have placed on my quick bar 8 skills. All of these 8 skills should not be in the same build if you're playing the game for real. Here, I just placed them so I can show you that Bard has the possibility of having 8 support skills on their quick bar, while when we go to Holy Knight, you're gonna see that they have a maximum of 6. So there's 2 support skills that are missing. Obviously, not all of these are extremely mandatory for your builds, so a build would not look like this. But you can. If you play Bard, you're committed to 100% supporting. This is your life. You don't DPS, well you do, involuntarily with these support skills and a couple of DPS skills, but you as a Bard are the lowest DPS in game. Nobody wants you as a Bard to DPS hard or whatnot, because it's not gonna happen. You're never going to be as good as a DPS compared to any other class in Lost Ark. First skill I have on Q right here is something that you cast really fast, and you can cast it even faster, and it puts a 25% of your total HP shield on you and all of the group members in this particular area. This is lovely. This is on a very fast cooldown, 15 seconds, more shorter with agility, and it's a great asset for you to have as a Bard. This is one defensive boon that the Bard provides, and having a shield on yourself is just like basically being protected or healed, almost like healed for 25% of your HP if you as a Bard cast it at the right time. If you cast it before the big boom hits and then it expires and then you take the damage, then the shield is completely pointless. However, if you're a great Bard and if your group plays with you, then you can cast the shield and just basically avoid 10-20% of your HP being lost and having to use a pot. The next skill right here is this one, where you place it on the ground and it gives you this very interesting buff, 15% more attack power and then another 6% extra. This is the same exact skill that Holy Knight has also two of. Bard also has two of these skills, and this is an offensive boon to the group members. This is quite a wide range. It works very well because it also staggers the mobs if you use it in dungeons, etc. And it's a very nice, cool buff, offensive to have. Next one right here is a musical note, which I cast, and then I get this particular buff on myself. 40% less damage taken by yourself and also everyone that is in the path of this musical note. So you cast it towards your group members, and this is what it does. If you run through it, for example, I will cast it, the buff is 3 seconds. If I keep running through it, the buff keeps refreshing in seconds. It doesn't give you an extra, let's say, charge of it, like 80% for example damage. It just refreshes the duration. The next skill on R is a harp that attacks the nearest target, and it puts a debuff on the target that increases the damage the target takes by 10%. Holy Knight has also, this is another difference in between the classes, that Holy Knight also has the same idea to put a debuff on the target that makes it take 10% more damage from you and everyone else. But for Holy Knight, it's much easier to cast. It's an 8-second cooldown skill that applies the same debuff for 8 seconds. With agility, it can be a 7-second cooldown skill that applies a debuff for 8 seconds. So Holy Knight only needs one of these skills to have a permanent one of these debuffs on the raid, which makes it much easier to play. While Bard, if you want to have this permanently on the raid boss, you need to use 3 different skills, which the Bard has access to, right? Next one is a very nice group buff. I have it here. You press it, it stops you in your tracks a little bit, and it gives you a 30% reduction in damage taken, magical and physical. But most importantly, it gives you a this one right here, becomes immune to abnormal attacks, 1 to be precise. But it's really cool when you're in the flow of DPSing, you place this thing on, and then the next thing that happens afterwards gets negated. The next CC gets negated by this particular buff that you have on your group members. Now when this skill expires, to be noted, it's very important, because when these 2 defensive buffs and the resistance to 1 CC expires, all of the group members that got the buff get a shield of 16%, because I have the skill tier up to level 2, the 3rd tier, 10 points assigned in it. This is a very nice thing, which makes it the same shield as this one, only lower in value. So far we have 2 shields from the Bard that can be used in tandem. Very cool stuff. Now we're getting to the highlight of the Bard and the thing that makes it, let's say, special compared to the Holy Knight, which is this skill right here. As you can see, this one gives me attack speed 8% and also mana regeneration in combat and outside of combat increased by 40%. You might be wondering, hey, who cares about mana in Lost Ark, right? Everyone has mana, but nobody really cares about it. And that is absolutely true. If you've played Lost Ark, you know that you don't really care about mana. But you don't care about mana because the builds that you're using might not be, let's say, the most hardcore, let's pump in deeps. Classes are kind of forced in Lost Ark, the ones that do consume mana a lot, are kind of forced to get their own skills to improve mana consumption. But if you have a bard in the group which also uses this skill, this is a fantastic asset to the group, and you as a summoner or you as a blaster, you don't really necessarily need to take traits as a blaster that reduce my mana consumption just because, you know, I have no bard in the group or my bard doesn't want to use this skill. This is a nice little addition, but it's nice nonetheless. There is a secondary buff like this one, which attack rate again increased by a further 8%. Now, and another really cool, interesting buff that comes from the same skill, which is this one, exactly the same as this one. 15% and another 6% of attack power increase. Very, very cool. Holy Knight also has two. Bard also has this one and this one that can increase the attack power of the party members by quite a lot. Next one in line, we have this skill right here, which is really, really nice. This is something that you can place further away. It does place this 10% extra damage debuff on the target if you catch a target in it, and also it gives yourself and the people inside that you catch inside a 50% damage reduction for the duration of the cast and then a couple of seconds afterwards. Very important is that if I would have a group member here, let's say I'm in PvP or in PvE, and the guy is getting fucked by the berserker right there, so I'm just gonna press this skill at the mouse location, and then the guy is gonna be protected and get a shield. The group member actually gets a shield from this particular skill. Very, very nice, very, very clutch in PvP content. This is a must for PvP, and for PvE it's something that you either get used to having or not. This is up to you. Lastly, we have this particular skill which you place at the mouse location, and if you stay inside it, you get 3 stacks of this buff, which reduces your the damage taken by you and your group members by 10% for each stack, so 30% in total. This skill also, if cast on the boss or on mobs, provides this particular buff to them, right? 10% increase in damage taken. The awakening skill of the bard is something very, very helpful to the group members. It puts a huge, massive ass shield on everyone in the group. Imagine this is lovely in PvP content and also in PvE content, where you put this and everyone's protected and they just can do whatever. The innate skill of the bard is something very nice as well. You have another very helpful supportive skill, which is this healing right here. You can place it wherever you want. Right now you're gonna see that I've placed it and it lasts quite long. This is because I'm full HP. This thing actually doesn't heal me. However, if I would be here half HP and another 3 group members here also have HP, this thing would be over quite fast, because the more it actually pumps healing back into you, the faster it goes away. So this is another cool thing. Lastly, for the awakening, for the innate skill, you have this buff right here, which if you place it on yourself, it increases your damage by 15%, yours and also the group members. First, it gives you a 15% of 15% to everyone, and then at the same time another 15% for 2 minutes. Needless to say that bard in PvP content is an absolute treasure, same as a Holy Knight is. Maybe Holy Knight is even a bigger treasure in PvP than bard is, simply because, again, I talked about this. This is an area, you cast it here, yes, you're all here getting healed, but then the blaster throws your fucking awakening skill on top of you. You know what I'm saying? While the Holy Knight is just running, and then casting this skill, and then you're all 8% healed plus a shield, and then running. This is the point. As for the Holy Knight, I have placed here on my bard the 6 skills that are actually helpful in terms of supporting, because in this video we're talking about the healing class of Lost Ark, right? The support. So these are the 6 skills, but Holy Knight has another side of the class, which is the blue side. These skills are only for DPSing. Holy Knight can actually be an okay DPS in the game, of course at the bottom of the lists, but is still an okay DPS. You can feel good about yourself in dungeons or maybe in the raid. You can actually have the realistic opportunity to play a hybrid class in a raid where you come with let's say 2 really cool buffs, or let's say 3 really cool buffs like these 3 right here for your groupies, which are really important and nice to have. And then the other 5 skills, they're all blue, and you're like pretending to DPS while still buffing your groupies with the most important kind of basic things that the Holy Knight has to offer as a support. So a realistic opportunity for the Holy Knight to play a hybrid, while the Bard does not have even that opportunity to become a hybrid, not to mention a full DPS. Holy Knight as a hybrid could potentially reach the DPS values of a Warlord, right? So it's still in the bottom 3 classes in terms of raw DPS. But just saying, I would not ever take a Holy Knight as a full DPS because there is no such thing. It's just simply not viable. There's any other class that I could take instead if he wants to go full blue 8 out of 8. No thank you, sir. But just saying. So let's start from here with the Q. This is a fantastic, lovely skill. Very short cooldown. You press it, very straightforward, and the target gets a debuff. All of the damage he receives, the target, 10% increased. This is great because my cooldown is over, and the debuff on the target... How do you miss this? The debuff on the target is also gone. So with a little bit more agility, which I have 0 of on this character, you could have this cooldown low enough to always spam it. Bard has to use 3 different skills to compensate for this one skill of the Holy Knight. Already a little bit of a difference in terms of straightforwardness of playing a Holy Knight compared to a Bard. Next skill right here, you cast it, very straightforward, it's quite fast, and it gives all of the group members 25% decrease in the damage they received, magical, and 25% physical. Super cool, easy, straightforward skill, supportive. Next one is this one that is a cast. You get this buff on you, physical damage received reduced by 70%, and also a shield. This is very important because as the skill lasts, you get a nice shield that protects you from damage. This is really cool. Next one in line is an offensive boon, very easy to cast as well, and it provides you with what the Bard also gave you, 15% plus 6% for a duration of time. This skill is on a 27-second cooldown. With more agility it can be fewer. The skill on D is another very nice skill, same as the one that we just used, same exact buff. They don't stack with each other, so you have to use them in tandem, one after another, so that you can get the maximum value out of it, right? If I would use D on top of this, it would just refresh the duration, and you have to use it at this. Physical damage received and magical damage received also decreased by 17% because this skill is tiered up to the second tier, 7 points in it. Very nice so far. We're getting to the highlight of the Holy Knight, which is this skill right here. This is absolutely a treasure of a skill. Again, you go and it's a huge radius, huge area that you can use it and people still get it. You get a shield, right, composed out of 20% of your maximum HP, and then the best part is that at the end, when this shield ends, you get healed by 8% of your total HP. This skill is on a 30-second cooldown. With more agility it can be a shorter cooldown, and this is fabulous because of the shield 20%, because of the and especially because of the healing of 8% of your total HP at the end. This is a spammable thing. This has nothing to do with gathering power for your innate, waiting, being able to cast it you know, only at a specific location like the Bard. You can just literally just run around and you can be here and your teammate is here, and if you press it, he still gets it. This is a phenomenal skill, and this is the reason, the main reason why Holy Knight is the most wanted support. Didn't say the best, just the most wanted in the game. Holy Knight also has one of the awakening skills that is very useful to the group members. It's this one right here, jump in the air, fall down, and you and your group members get a ginormous shield on you, same as the Bard one does. The only difference is that this awakening skill from the Holy Knight, you need to work for it because it's the second one, not the first. So depending on what kind of release we're getting in the West, you might not even have access to it from the get-go. But I guess, wait, sorry, by the time Holy Holy Knight comes along a year after in the West, then we're gonna have this as well. And this one is the first one. The difference is that Bard's first awakening skill is the supportive one, while the Holy Knight's second one is the support. In terms of the innate skill, it has two sides, same as the Bard. One of them buffs your offensive capabilities if you go as a Kappa DPS Holy Knight. So one of them buffs the blue skills, and the other one buffs the golden skills, right? On top of buffing the golden skills, we're talking just about support in this video. All of your group members that are in this range that moves along with you, you can see the edge here, they get a 10% increase in the damage that they do. Very interesting and very important. The Bard also has something like this with the red offensive boon, but the Holy Knight also does it, and the Holy Knight's innate is easier to fill up than the Bard's innate, just saying so you know, in the way that they've made the class, and in the way that they've made the traits that you know, the traits that you already use. For example, this skill is just a random skill. I clicked on it. It has here for 7 points. You use it for 10 points anyway, but it has here for 7 points this perk as opposed to this. You don't need this in PvE content if you know where to position yourself. So if you're a decent Holy Knight, you're not going to use this. You're going to use this, as opposed to being a Bard where this perk to fill up your innate faster, this perk is at competition with something that dude, I really want that you see, this is my point. And this was the Holy Knight, a fabulous support class, fabulous in PvP content. In PvP it's better than a Bard, I'm just gonna tell you this straight off. In PvE content, now this is debatable which one is better. However, the Holy Knight is more wanted, regardless of it being better, the same, or worse than a Bard in PvE. It's more wanted. And in PvP, because of the way their skills work, because of the way they can cast things, because of the ginormous range of giving me more attack power. I'm here, my groupie is here fighting the Warlord. I press this button, my groupie gets 15%, 20% more attack power. I press this button, my groupie gets a shield, and then after it a heal. I press this button, my groupie gets this and that. It's priceless for PvP content to be able to be far away from people if you go support and still give them everything you have, as opposed to Bard needing to get in this kind of a range to pop a shield next so it can catch the groupies, or casting an innate heal here at the ground in this spot, and then all of you just stay there waiting for summoner awakening skills on top of you and whatnot. So because of this, in PvP there's no question, Holy Knight is the best, but for PvE content there is a question. And at the end of the day, it depends what you have in here, which class you like more, which things you like more to do with your class, and this is how you choose your support in the game. I wish you guys lots of love. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you really soon. Until then, take care, stay safe.